You're gonna be left with that one little chip that you missed, and you're gonna do a whole wall.
All right, and then I'll just kind of show you guys how to do it real quick, and then I'll let you guys take control.
$7.
I think I'll go ahead.
No, oh, you talking about the roller? You're talking about the. Oh, I think you're talking about the.
So we're really not trying to go for a full broadcast of the stainless. We're really just trying to do a couple accents of it.
Maybe you do one.
Exactly.
How set up is that red?
It's still, I mean, it's pretty. It's a hard, but it's still, you can still work it. And especially if you really need to work it, you just spray a little bit of alcohol on it, just like Levi was saying before he went to lunch. All right, and then who's starting out?
Can I try?
Yeah.
So if I
Spread it out just all in random spots.
Exactly.
Like rock wool kind of thing.
Exactly. Whatever.
When you do the impression roll, what's going to happen is the red's going to come through into the impressions. Really cool.
So we'll want to wait for it to tack up just a little bit more, but.
You can basically do anything. You do wood pattern, you can get whatever impression roll.
We have the wood pattern impression rollers, and then sometimes we get the mud trowels and just cut the teeth into it to get that actual grain. That's how we got that wood table over there.
Oh, okay.
There's so many different impressions that you can do. Like that's over here. You see those right there? All those scales?
Yep.
We used a different impression roller to get that. So if I remember correctly,
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I like that.
So the red isn't coming through enough.
nope, just right in between.
Right, so I'm curious to see how you did on that one, which was like typical.
Yeah,
Really exact.
that one was with the countertop epoxy, so it's just a bit different consistencies.
Does you roll through and
Exactly, and showing that base
pushes
up.
your color out of the way. Got it.
Yeah, if somebody else wants to go and
So Dom, doing this in a random pattern versus a systematic pattern, and that way you get rid of the systematic look.
Exactly.
Complete random pattern, then it wouldn't look like a machine profile.
And it really just depends on how you want the design to look. You know, if you really wanted that consistent pattern, then that's what you could do. But really what we're trying to do is just a couple spots of that stainless steel accenting this red.
So, Dom, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir?
Even though because this is a catalyzed product, okay, if you take the air supply away from that, like if your tools and whatnot, take the air supply because it is a catalyzed product, it still will dry underwater.
I am not sure on that. Definitely not. Because, I mean,
I think I already know the answer, but I was just curious.
right, like you're saying to take away the air releasers, so you can,
Because I've done a lot of finishes where I intentionally take away the air from the whole entire wall, and then I inject the pigment color across the whole surface. That way, if I want a spider web effect or like a whole wall of rainforest I'll seal my glazing with a cold surface, and then I'll inject pigment and elongate the
Interesting.
pigment.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. You might just have to play with it on your own. Do you think we should do an accent color on it? Or do you think this is? I was thinking something neutral.
So you're gonna.
Is there another small trowel? I mean, a putty knife?
Are you gonna do the impression tool? Are you gonna do the impression
Oh,
tool?
yeah, after when they get it all on, as much as they want on there, then yeah, I'll come back and impression it.
And is it gonna be like over on top of like a more like saturated part of the true metal, or is it gonna be like an imprint where it's like slightly gray over the red like it is, right?
It should, because what we're trying to accomplish is basically this, is what you really want. It's just
So
a
it's very
little bit of,
thin?
yeah. Hmm.
I think it'd be cool if you like sprayed an accent color over on top of the trial true metal and then did the impression.
Do you think maybe like a charcoal? Might be a not too crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a
And I think we'll wait to do any more of the impression roller, because I think we're gonna do a little bit of an accent color, and then we'll impression roll over it. What do you think, a pearl or a charcoal?
That's hard.
Right.
I don't know. I'd still say charcoal.
Yeah. You guys think charcoal would look pretty good in an accent spray on this? Yeah. Perfect. Let me go grab it. What?
You want more on there?
Yeah. We definitely want more because we got this whole wall right here. We got all right there.
I just want to do a little section. Where's the glove?
All the gloves are right up here. We got medium and extra large. Just remember, we really want the majority of the red showing.
Okay.
That is our small.
This is the small.
Yeah. Because we have the,
This is what?
that's a large.
Large. See, we were right. We're almost right. Well, almost. Real close.
Bucket size, which is 27 grams. The small, which I think is like 48. Medium.
Like 60. One of them is
Yeah, that sounds about right.
60 grams for the small.
And I think the large is about 400.
Yeah.
This is how you would add
See, I knew I
contrast to your spray colors.
Man, listen, you always need a funnel. If you're ever in doubt, you need a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned my lesson.
Perfect. There you go. Just be careful not to step on the top. Just make sure it's pretty smooth. You don't want those big old dollops like that.
Okay.
The impression roller would definitely smoothen it out, but perfect. You guys liking it so far? Yeah? You'll really like it when it's actually shined out. Yeah, so tomorrow when it's actually fully cured, we'll come back with a 4 and 800 and bring it all the way up to a 5,000. And then you could even come back a week later after you bring it to a 5,000 and hit it with another 5,000, and it'll be twice as shiny as it was. The older it gets, the true metal, the shine it'll get.
Somebody else want to?
So when this one is here, you've done all that and then it's just been
Nothing.
within an inch of its life.
Exactly. That's how you actually get that shine from the metal. This is what it first looked like. Do you want to give it a shot?
Wow. Chase the room.
You'll like it when it's actually buffed out. I'm telling you. It looks.
I mean, I really like what he did over here.
to it.
I really like
blobbing
it.
it. Stop.
I like what he did over here where he got those little, like, those breaks. That's super cool.
Towards the end, before we get done, we'll have just one lady come up and
It's his turn.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can hand it off to him.
Hand it off.
Yeah.
usually the ladies are a little bit more better at this, artistic. Guys are more autistic.
Very.
You had like the Bob Ross knife skills over here.
Yeah, that looks really good over
I
there.
do a lot of drywall.
Letting your
It
snow
was
break.
nice. Like very.
Just make sure not to put too much more.
Yeah.
Because once I put the impression roll over it, it'll really kind of pull it out too.
So is that too much, you think, or?
That one is, yes,
That's a little much?
a little much. Like this is more of what we are trying to go for.
Okay.
So I wouldn't add too much more, but
Very blobby all
Can I
over.
drag you?
yeah.
There's no artistic.
Well, yeah, but it'll roll it out.
It's garbage.
We'll get to it.
I really like hate.
If you want to do it, come on. You're standing there talking.
I did an area. I did a small little area just to, try the technique.
Stainless steel.
There you go. See, she's getting half into
That's what I was
a
gonna
little
do with the
flow
impression
to
roller.
it, a little bit of artistic feel.
A lot less on your knife.
Yeah,
A lot
perfect.
less on your knife. You're actually fine. Put it in a lot thinner coat.
There you go. And put a little pressure on it. We'll have one person come through and
No, take it off. Now just take the very tip of your knife and just touch it. Yeah, the more side you already cleared. Yep. There. Pull it off. Now run it across.
Yeah, that's looking good though.
Trying to break those up a little. But you're gonna roll over
You're
those,
gonna roll
right?
it. It's gonna roll out.
That what I'm looking for.
Yep. And then just go back over it and hit it with more pressure.
wow. That is so thick towards the top.
Drag those out
Yep.
a little.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah,
it pretty flat when you put on.
Yeah, when you're applying the stainless steel as smoothly as possible. You really don't want that big old piles on there.
You just set these down.
Yep. Now we'll just have her kind of touch up everything so it's kind of one design,
Right. It's awesome.
When you get that in your undercolor, is that bad or will that kind of?
That'll go away because it's basically just digging in your sides right there. Is just all that's from, but it'll even out once we. Yeah, I would smoothen that. Anything that's protruding like that, you definitely don't want.
thin can you run the original coat on the walls?
Do what?
How thin can you run the original coat on the walls? What's your spread
You're,
rate on that?
you're really just trying to get that full broadcast of it.
There's a store right next to you.
I like to fall off of stools. I don't know how much more you want off of those.
You're doing good. Just start.
Does somebody else want this?
If you see any spots that you want to change up, you can just drag it out and just try and make it a little bit more consistent.
Alright,
Since you guys were saying you hate it so much, huh?
if I fall, I won.
If you fall, the whole world of Instagram will see it.
Yeah.
Got the dumpster out back, remember? I said we got the dumpster out back, remember? Just kidding.
You would like that.
Yeah, look at that.
I think it's starting to come there, guys.
The white pattern, right?
Okay, so once you mix that up right there, can you like close that up, or you have to use it all?
You have to use it all. It would harden. Yeah, we definitely didn't use a whole lot just because we didn't want that full just true metal wall. We just wanted it to accent this red.
On the right side.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Mm. It's a little thick right here, but.
They want it on there fairly smooth and so that
And especially because we're using this impression roller,
right.
the
You don't want big globs sticking out.
because if it was super thick, it would just kind of, when I went over it with the impression roller, it would be all mountainous and just.
Right.
There's that corner up there. It's gonna be nice.
Whole corner over there. Good job.
Starting to get too caked up now. It's looking good though. What do you guys think?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Do you still hate it?
No, I
You know who I'm looking at? Yeah, if somebody wants to Anybody? It's getting a little harder just because it's starting to get a little caked up. But as long as you go, you got it.
Point, do you spray with the alcohol to if it's getting set up too much?
Yeah, you can. But then I'm also spraying the charcoal over the stainless steel before I impression roll it.
Okay.
But it's still doing very good.
That looks awesome.
Right?
Does
Hey,
anyone have any questions?
there you go. I'm glad I
about what
asked
we're
you.
doing right now? Anyone have any questions about what's going on? Just want to make sure you guys all know what we're doing. Sweet.
Now, is that too thick right there?
No, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
That's good.
That's doing really good. Gets pretty thick towards the top. That's a little too thick at the top, but
No or yes?
Yeah, because he hasn't troweled
Go
over there yet.
over.
I would recommend, let's do,
Flattening it again?
yeah. Just because it's,
Alright, that's what I thought.
that's why it's starting
why
to,
I asked.
it's getting a little too thick and messing up your
Yeah,
design.
right there.
You're doing a really good job though.
Yeah, that right corner.
Oh, yep, I see it. Ooh, I almost fell into it. Still just a little too thick right there. It's looking good.
I like that smearing dome. I think it's really going to help when you
Yeah.
put that texture on it. Yeah. It's just filling out more of that red, and it's going to leave it more consistent patterns.
Yeah, that alcohol was really getting it.
Working that product more, so it's like that rather than like the splotchies.
So you think we should redo
Yeah.
this spot?
Just so that it looks more natural.
Actually in there instead of
Yeah.
mountainous?
Yeah, and right now
Oh,
it's
that's perfect right there, how it's doing that.
yeah. Just so that it's blending more together too, so you don't still see like the spots where we.
Smart. I think it's starting to come out. Like that?
That's kind of neat. Actually, it's like really rattlesnake-ish. Went from crocodile to rattlesnake.
Probably just right there, you think?
Yeah.
So thick. So thick right here. That's why you're not getting those very good impressions.
Well, it's very thick up there too. I'm not even attempting it.
Doing really good though.
Who is?
You are.
This one's ready, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better now. Starting to wipe that through with alcohol.
After the texture is sort of carrying that gray through the red, and after you smear it, it's even spreading it more. So if you do the texture again, it's gonna look really.
Hell yeah. Yeah, might have to get up there.
Yeah, I think you could.
Pressure behind your arm.
I think you could even take that alcohol more down on the corner down here on that edge, and then smear it a few times.
Standing back to get an eye. Yeah, when you're right in front of you, it's hard to see it.
Hey, Alvaro? Are you guys just doing sporadic or
Just doing straight up.
straight up and down? But I am like switching it like every once in a while so it's on the same pattern. You know, you don't
Yeah, right in.
switch or
All the way against the wall.
Oh, here.
Oh, that gray just looks super thick. Just from the angle I was at it.
Right?
You need to spray the roller because it looks like it's clogging into the spot.
Yeah, it would help.
You might try with the trowel, just to scrape some of it off, just not hard enough to scrape the plastic off.
Yeah, because every time I go over, I'm still scraping off some.
Yeah.
So we definitely put a bit more than we wanted, but that's all right. It's still looking really awesome. Should probably do the top right there. Still a bit too thick.
Probably needs to be squirted.
It's actually still doing pretty good.
Not you. The other
Uh,
The other wall. Needs a squirt on some of it, I think.
you hear that, bud?
Yeah.
It would definitely help squirting a little bit of clear on there.
And on the wall too. Don put some of them.
Did you put it on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Stuff you're having trouble with.
Perfect. That should be plenty. All right. Should be pretty thin enough to do this. There we go. Well, it's so thick at the top. What do you guys think so far? Anything you guys want to add to it?
Should we all sign it?
Yes, definitely.
Put our initials in various spots?
buddy?
I'll try it a bit. Probably mess it up.
There's not much you can do to mess it up. I really like how that bottom went.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Where should I start?
I'd probably start on this wall.
Okay.
I think that's perfect. It's pretty smooth now. As long as you know you've really smoothened it out, I think it should be good. Sorry, bud. Yeah, it's still real thick.
That's really thick right there.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah, he went over it with the longer trowel and it spread it, but it didn't quite. What do I do with this all gloved?
It's all right. You can just go right over it again once I get this smoothened out.
I have to take that section where
That's actually not too thick, so that's perfect.
that's okay.
Perfect. Oh, I just finished. Go ahead. Ugh. That's all right. Just keep doing it.
I can't get up any higher.
Oh no, because we don't want it like completely uniform. You know what I mean? You can go a little sporadic. Take it off. Yeah, the more sporadic, the better.
Kind of like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want it touching in here or have it look like?
I think that looks awesome like that. Whatever you think looks good, honestly. It's all about the eye of the beholder, right? Oh yeah, that's way too thick. Holy cow.
Now, do you have to throw these rollers away after you're done with them?
Just clean them once they're hardened.
Are those silicone?
Huh?
Are those rollers silicone?
Yes, I believe so.
So you could probably just pop it off after.
Yep, and then just break it up and chip up everything.
Let it dry and then it pops off?
Yep.
So you guys saw the paddles away, but not those.
Yeah, because these will actually, you can take it off the roller and it'll like kind of be super squishy. And like, you can just, really a lot easier to clean.
So you just let it dry, pop off all the stuff, and then put it in alcohol to clean the last off?
Exactly. Oh. Right where I slowed down, it started skipping it.
All right, let's try it.
There we go. And it's
Still
thick.
a little thick here.
just because it's so caked up.
Yeah, take a look at it. I mean, it's rather goofy.
Yeah. I'm alright. I've already gone this far.
What do you want me to do with
I think I would just finish right there at the bottom, and I think that's perfect.
that?
Perfect, yeah.
Anything else?
If you want to add some more, you can.
Yep, it'll polish it. Right now, it just looks like,
Anyone? Anyone? Where else?
but after you polish it, that's what it looks like. And if you look right here, that's what that impression roller was actually right here too.
Any other spot? What do you see?
I think that's perfect.
We didn't get it above the door,
A little longer,
but
and then spray alcohol on the wall, and then the roller won't stick. Spray alcohol on the roller, and you can impression it. Otherwise, you'll have so much goo on the roller.
and the roller's really gummed up right now.
Because you don't spray alcohol. Because there's no alcohol on it or the wall. That's fine. Just so you know. Try it though. Spray some alcohol on the roller. Here. Now tell me where you want to go with it.
Like right here, you think? Or wherever.
Right here. No, no, roll that.
Oh, wow.
See that?
Yeah, that rolls a lot easier.
Now, zero stuck to the wall, you just actually got the texture. So now trowel that back out to get it flat with a trowel.
Oh, great.
And then use alcohol. Sorry, I'm trying to call you.
Mine was on silent, and then I tried to call you
I
back.
always leave my phone on silent.
Yeah.
Get the big trowel and get somebody involved that can do that. Put on this gentleman's shoulders and it's I've never experienced that. Might have to get the stripper, even he's stretching. The stripper guy. Now, however smooth you pull is however smooth that wall will be. As soon as you slow down, you'll get waves. So the smoothness of the pull has a lot to do with how smooth the actual wall turns out. What's that? What was that tip you just said? I'll give you a tip. Yeah, good job. No, that's perfect. And no, just keep going across and smooth it back out. You have plenty of time to smooth this whole wall out. Spray alcohol. Grab some more alcohol though real quick because that bottle's almost empty. And then we'll just re-impression roll it. So as soon as you spray the alcohol on the wall, it just divots in and doesn't stick to the roller at all. So it does so many. It makes people prettier. It makes all kinds of things happen. The whole world.
I like where you went.
Yeah.
Why people dance.
Yeah. That doesn't. I can't drink enough alcohol to dance.
I was just gonna say, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to have to do a dancing class. Good job doing this, guys. Dominic.
I was wondering. You're looking a lot better now. That's for sure.
I went up to that pool job to check. I went to a SuperTraxx job that was being done to see if it was far enough along to where you guys could go up and see it if you wanted to see a big sound coating. And unfortunately, they're still just filling slurry and fractures and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, bring them up." And I went up and looked, and there's no way that it would be to any valuable portion of the job for you guys. So, what's that? No, I mean they look like they're a week out. So, it's the massive grinding happening still, and there's water coming out of the slab. And so I was like, well, so we'll just do samples in class, and I'll show you. We'll walk around. I'm going to do kind of a tour this afternoon and actually show you different products and why we used them there, and what the application could be, and answer questions. So
I really like it when you guys bust down that floor out here.
I love that, dude. It's even harder with a palm sander, but if you ran like a 6-inch Festool, like a DA, maybe even the vacuum sander is how we started it with the drywall tool, and then run up to like 400 and then 800, and you can just get amazing floors. And people are like, oh, it takes a long time. It's faster than any other flooring installation you ever could do. So and you end up with a very durable, very user-friendly floor. So if there was damage to that floor, what grit did we finish it at? sand it back, wax it, and you're perfect.
Quarry on
Yeah.
countertops.
That's what we
like
were
Aerodon.
at the restaurant. We went and looked at the bar.
Oh, did you guys like that?
And the floor is like just.
See, that bar, to think that you could have 5 man-hours into that bar.
That's all?
From wood. Oh, easily. I mean, literally, it was the wall epoxy, troweling the wall epoxy down, cleaning it up. There's no drips, so you mask on the floor to make sure if something falls off because you drip it, but it's not like countertop that's flowing, you know? And then you trowel the true metal on top, let that cure up, and then come back and sand it and start polishing it. You might have 6 or 7 man-hours into that. How could you not make crazy money doing bars and stuff like that?
Square footage price on something like that.
What's the value to the customer? I mean, you have seamless stainless steel on a bar. That's,
That the customers
you know, run copper, it's a little softer, but it's also very antimicrobial. So,
Yeah, copper bars.
So what's the deal with the floor? Not happening at all?
floor? No, we're doing a floor.
Oh,
We're going to do it tomorrow. So,
Okay, good.
because we're going to do a bigger area. We're actually doing a bigger floor than we thought, and we don't want you guys trying not to step in it. So, we'll do it for you.
Questions or difference between your countertops and your diamond coat slip-on epoxy shoes? Because the price is different.
Diamond coat? You probably get a discount, right?
No, diamond coat are like 115, and the ones you have on your website on countertop are like 80. Is there an actual difference?
Are they both slip-on? No, there's not then. So, we'll just have to adjust pricing. Sorry about that.
At least on the pricing sheet that we got in the thing, it's 115. No, flip-
No, I don't know about that. I'd have
have it
to
with
I'd
me,
have
so
to
last
check
time
on
was
that,
just
and I
looking
apologize.
online, and I was like, let's see what products you have.
You doing this as well?
Yeah, I would trowel it all out and then just run the impression roller. That's perfect what you just did. The strap ones are such crap compared to that. Except I did a big job in India and we couldn't get, the guys didn't have shoes to fit in the slip-ons, so we had to let them use the strap-on shoes because they wore them like sandals. So, and that,
Wait, so you have slip-ons and strap-ons?
we just quit selling the strap-ons because I don't see a need for it. You lose the bolts off the bottom, the nuts off the bottom and shit, and they're just floppy crap. I don't. And the I love being able to kick on and off. I have a buddy up in California or in Montana that does this, and he always wears Crocs. So he'll kick his Crocs off and then kick his other shoes on, and he just switches back and forth, and it's pretty smooth. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. That was me. I was dancing. See, that's as good as I can dance.
Pretty smooth move though.
Yes, I'm gonna ask about. Okay, you gonna impression roll it now? Did that get all sticky over there or what?
What?
The wall there didn't really trowel back out smooth.
I was the one doing it. Alcohol.
Let me see.
When was the last time you did a job?
Oh. That's hard to say because I travel a lot and actually do jobs with people internationally a lot, big jobs, and help crews. But the last time I actually installed was about 4 years ago because I started getting installers and I just didn't believe it was right to have both. I'm very against installing and competing with it. If I'm referring you work, then I'm taking the best of it. I just feel like it's too much of a granite or right coat thing to do. Now make sure you have plenty of alcohol on that wall before you impression roll it. Anybody can do the impression roller if you want to. You may want to be kind of thoughtful how you roll it out of the wall, that you might be lighter on this side, a little heavier on this side, and roll away from towards your roller wire and away from the outside edge. And then I would leave it like that, even if it kind of popped up in some places, sand it. Yeah. Anybody want to try that? Either one of you guys. Really spray a lot on your roller and on the wall or it will stick. You could also cut that alcohol that's 99% and it's evaporating kind of quickly. You could dilute that about 9% since we're just spraying it topically, and it'll actually allow it to evaporate slower so you'd have more working time. Good to see you, Martin. Where's my rounders creepy Ben Affleck at? Hey, they fixed the shoes for you. They're 80. That was our mistake. Thank you. Ted Bundy. We should go check the trunk right now. Don't know if you're here to learn or you want to wear our skin. Thank you. What's that?
Just about the arm for the iPad, how movable it could be instead of trying to crank it. Remove the whole stuff. I can't see that anymore.
What? Yeah. And any of those little highs are fine because we can come right back over that with a sander. We knock off the highs. You could even trowel a secondary color right back into them. So I would run it wherever you think you feel good about, wherever you want to, man. I'd run the whole wall. I don't think you can break it. How did our views just go up by 4,000? That's perfect, dude. Yeah, otherwise it just sticks to that because it's still pretty fresh wall epoxy.
Mix any of the colored powders into like the stainless to make it a different color.
You could probably get a tint out of it, but it wouldn't probably polish as well because your metal is so compact it's gonna polish very well.
Okay.
Whereas I think once you got too much mica, you could end up kind of because I have done that with charcoal and steel. I didn't feel like it polished as glossy quite. It still looked really good. It just wasn't quite the. If you're trying to get like 5,000, you might not get that.
Okay.
So.
And then like for shower floor, would you recommend whatever product?
I would try wall epoxy right on a trowel floor. You could also dry pack if you're good at that sand with a SuperTraxx. I don't teach how to do that because that's a skill that people need to. If you dry pack a fan, you can, and if you can't, just go learn. So, which you probably could do it, but if I started trying to describe to the class how to do that, it would be a failure. So.
Okay. What do you say to pick SuperTraxx?
I've done shower pans with it. I've ran either thin flooring epoxy or wall epoxy, and Dale's really good at dry packing with the SuperTraxx. Like about 7% epoxy to SuperTraxx. Probably just as much as you can sideways. Or we'll cut our roller off after you finish everything else. I actually think once we sand this and possibly trowel in a really thin clear coat or something just to make the wall perfectly smooth, I think that you wouldn't notice where the lap marks are or anything. It won't be very noticeable anyway. Huh? Same exact technique, wall epoxy, and then rolling it. Anybody want to hit that left wall? You got one more to do. Oh, yeah, I'd broadcast that. Can you ask that in class on flooring when we go over flooring? Okay. That's a real important question, but there's a lot of thought you need to have when you apply traction powder. Okay.
And like the shower that I'm gonna do has a window, so could you brush this right up basically to the glass?
Oh yeah.
To waterproof.
Yeah, so tape it off so you can peel it back real easily, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
How you doing, Martin?
Good, how you doing?
Good. What are you up to?
I'm just picking up some stuff.
Oh, right
do
on.
a shower enclosure.
Good to see you today, man.
Take
Oh, you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you pouring or troweling?
I'm gonna pour it and then let it dry.
I like that. That's
Take it up
fast.
yeah. Take
So
it up
throw
to-
the panels in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right over instead of tearing everything out, I'm just gonna tack it right over the top of everything.
No, I totally agree. We just lost viewers. I wonder why. All the female viewers have left.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be back. I was so tired. I was getting tired by the time
Yeah, you were
I almost fell asleep on the side of the road. I just like pulled over because I'm like, gosh, I've been traveling for 26 hours. I'm 30 minutes from home, and I cannot drive anymore.
It's almost, you get to the finish line that you can see it, and you're just kind of like, I've made it.
Well, the plane was so bumpy. We were going to there was a big storm, so all the way across the Atlantic was like, usually they say, oh, it's going to be bumpy, and it's not. That time I was like, holy fuck. Like, I went to the bathroom. They were like, the seatbelt sign's on. I'm like, I'm going to piss, like, whatever. Like, it's not my first time. And I came off the ground while I was pissing my feet, and I was like, whoa. That's why I was standing in pee. So.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're back. That must have been some. We'll catch up sometime.
Oh, it was fun.
Cool.
I did a little video, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll post it.
Okay.
Probably not to my customers. So. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's great.
The awesome amount of people over there. The class there, the people were. I don't know. There's some Europeans. Once they get into construction, I mean, because it's such a fucking communist area of the world.
Yeah.
Like once you're a contractor, or if you want to be one, you're probably working for 4 years to get to a level, and then if you want to be able to work on the next type of job, you're another 8 years. So you meet a guy that's 40 and he's very skilled, knows his shit. I mean, the average guy, that, if they say, oh, I'm a carpenter, they could do better finished cabinets than most guys here could ever do in a cabinet shop. I mean, they're just, it's weird to be in front of 20 people that are all like highly skilled. And you're like, man, and a lot of times though, they're very apt to just want to learn from me. And I'm like, you know, I'm not here to teach you how to do what you're an expert at, but I'll teach you how to add something to it, and that's it. So.
Is it pretty big in here?
No, it's very wanted, and we are doing it now. We're opening up a pretty big distribution there, but it's just funny that just the people are just so skilled. It's just weird. I don't know. And I think there too, you don't get people jumping to 20 different jobs by the time they're 25, 30 years old. They pick a career and they do it for their whole life.
Yeah.
So.
Cab drivers are cab drivers for life out there.
Yeah, no, they are. That's for sure. And thank God, because the traffic they have to drive in and how they have to get you places, you're like, I'm glad you're willing to enter the roundabout at 60 miles an hour, but I probably wouldn't have. If I ever have nothing to lose and endless money, everybody in town will know, because there'll be a monster truck running over every fucking roundabout in this town. Straight through the middle.
I was saying to myself last night, I was like, well, they really endorsed the roundabouts here in
Yeah,
town.
they were saying it's up to $7 million per roundabout, and I'm like, you serious? You could have just built a fucking library or any kind of thing, but you needed a roundabout was what you thought would really put our city on the map. Like, and then that intersection, that stupid ass one down by 21 Road, they didn't say it's good, and then there were so many accidents. They've changed it like 3 or 4 times. They were bragging that we're the second city ever in the U.S. to ever build one where it's like crisscross traffic, and I'm like, well, we're the second one that's that stupid. Like you literally just followed the dumbest city.
There's not one in every fucking.
Our people are
Yeah.
stupid, but there's not a single one in Houston.
Oh, yeah. Do you know that 21 Road intersection where it goes backwards? It's ridiculous. I mean, then there were so many head-on accidents there. They tried to change everything up, and then there was a whole bunch more head-ons, and they changed it up again. And
I've been through some roundabouts, they're crazy.
yeah, well, this is actually backwards traffic where it's different. It's
Right in front of the courthouse.
no kidding. How did that happen?
I don't know.
In a hurry to get to court date, yeah.
That's crazy.
That looks like you might have got some side impact, but not bad. You know?
Red car maybe?
Here, I'll tell you what happened.
I can't wait to play.
Hey, what just happened in front of the courthouse with that car tipping over? Question mark.
The only strange thing about it, it looks like there's ridges.
My buddy's the deputy in charge right now for the shift that's on right now. So, I'm like, I'm sure he just got to visit him.
This is what Rachel's husband just did for her.
I can't wait to play.
Rachel's husband must love his girl. Sorry.
I can't wait to do this stuff, play around with it on my own.
You'll learn so much more, and then you'll do stuff that'll surprise all of us. It'll be different than what we'd have thought. Don't slip off that step stool. Hey,
Thanks so
Evans, thank you, man.
Appreciate it, it was good.
Thank you for being positive and coming here. Huh? Oh, you like that, don't you? really wonder if he has a body in his trunk. Really wonder if he has a body in his trunk. Ben Affleck. Doesn't he look like Ben Affleck?
The new you. That you show.
I've not watched that. Is Ben Affleck in it?
No, but it's like a
He got all fat, didn't he?
serial killer.
When he got divorced, he like gained all that weight and.
He said it was his biggest regret.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did have a pretty bad run there for a while. Thank you, Carrie.
Yes, there was one.
Oh, boom. That's really badass. I love stuff like that. And that doesn't do it any justice for what it really is.
No, it doesn't.
Pictures are impossible to get what really it is. Yeah.
Well, sir, it's been nice meeting you, man.
It's good meeting you, man. Thank you for being here and being so nice to us.
Many videos of you.
Oh, I hope I didn't disappoint you in person.
No, you did, man.
Thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
You like Leo here.
What's that? I like both of you here.
Leo here. I'm a pain.
No, why are you a pain?
I ask stupid questions.
You don't ask stupid questions. You don't. You have no clue how overwhelmed I have been this week. I have
Oh, I'm sure.
being out of the office for 2 weeks and then coming back and then having a job and oh.
I know when we had asked them, does Levi have any time, and they're all.
Sorry people. I hit pause. I wasn't even peeing, so must have been talking shit. So yeah, this is over VCT, squeegee coat. What I've been doing recently that I've noticed works very well, has anyone ever tried to do a skim coat with a window squeegee? Real tight, pulling it real tight to seal stuff up. Because we're gonna kind of go over this and a few different things, and then we're gonna teach our flooring portion of class. If we have time, we'll do a sample. Yes, sir? I never use notched for skim coats, because skim coats you're getting it as thin as possible, just to fill. Now every time you pull, it leaves that like squeegee mark, that chop mark, and it's almost impossible to get away from some of that, right? So now I've been actually spraying alcohol right after my skim coat and cross rolling with a roller. So A foam roller is the only true lint-free roller. If you don't use a lint-free roller, you're going to have a whole bunch of fuzz that you're going to have to sand the next day, and then you may as well have just sanded instead of cross-rolled. But what I have noticed is on raw concrete, skim coating, anything like VCT, if you go back and cross-roll it. Now, if your VCT is not bonded well and your epoxy sets up enough and you're cross-rolling it, you may actually pop tiles off by cross-rolling. So be thoughtful of that. But it's a really good way to just absorb any of those squeegee chop marks, and you get a really smooth, very fast floor. So you can walk through here. And I'll go over all that, the floors. All I did was pour the different colors around on the floor. I use a T-bar applicator. We'll be doing this in class tomorrow. You guys will see that. The glass right there, one of the girls here in the office, our manager, actually painted that. We poured epoxy on both sides. It was tempered glass. Now, I actually broke one of the panels because I was hitting it with a freaking hammer trying to get it to break. And I found that a high-speed drill bit popped it way easier. So it busted the glass, stayed encapsulated. That right there is almost 5 years old. And we've traveled to 4 different offices where that's been. Here is a aluminum desktop right there. If you see how soft it is, it's so soft that what it was doing out there, it was polishing the charcoal. It actually took the white and made it pretty dirty. We could have wet sanded this, and it would keep the white very clean. We never did wet sand it, so because somebody used it right away. This is a bronze wall, and this is true bronze troweled over the top. We polished everything out to 2,000. This portion right here was polished by Darren to 5,000. So you can kind of see if you want to rub on it, you can. This here is stainless steel above and below here with iron in the middle. We used to have a magnet stuck to the wall just to kind of show you, but you can throw a magnet up there. It is very magnetic. So you could also sand this to expose. I believe we put a nano coating on this to actually seal it up so it wouldn't patina. But if you wanted to sand it to expose that patina or use a polish on it to remove that sealer on it, you could spray salt on it and actually completely rust that band in the wall, which is something you might want to do. Here's a chiseled edge look right here. I believe the Atencios know how to do this. Their only problem you did is you did exactly what I've done. So just because something hardens doesn't mean there's not moisture inside of it, and that goes a lot of different ways. What we did here is 5-minute mud mixed with plaster of Paris. Now, you don't need plaster of Paris, but a craft plaster is a lot better than plaster you buy at a like Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards or something like that. Construction plaster is nothing like the craft plaster. The craft plaster has a lot of aggregate in it, so you can get more of a chiseled, broke look. This here is construction plaster, so it's easy to get it too smooth, so it doesn't look as much like broken, chiseled stone, if that makes sense. Now, if you're too broken and chiseled, it's not easy for the customer to clean their house, so it doesn't do you any good. So kind of when you're doing this, we may have time to do this, we may not. I know there's a lot of live videos out there you can watch of us doing it, and we'll post a video otherwise of it. Just a little home show setup. We have this that we throw in our home shows. Watch out, there's a scooter there. Look at this. I missed a part of the floor on like the 4th pour. So anyways, pretty simple. Now, we just troweled walls out there, right? And we used wall epoxy. This is 2 doors, hollow core doors, $24. Buy a hollow core door, coat it with epoxy. You get your 1.5" edge thickness to show a customer off. I don't even know if those are finished. They're not. So, but these are great things to build samples. We were playing around trying to make a corner sample to kind of see if we could do some kind of shower setup here. This is how I would prefer to do a shower if at all possible. It's a lot easier than troweling epoxy, is measure everything out, make sure you can get into your bathroom. A lot of times the height from the tub to the ceiling happens to be a little more than it is from one corner of the door to the top other corner of the door, so make sure that measurement that you can get your panel in the bathroom. Then make sure that the length of the panel that you can flex it around and get it up above the tub. Thank you, man.
Can you turn that into a table?
Turn it into what?
A table.
Yeah, it'd be a fucking hollow core door, so it'd feel pretty chintzy. So, but you can do a solid core door and make a table out of it. So yeah.
You just glue it on?
Yeah, I'd silicone it up, and I'll go over the exact how we set shower panels and stuff. Yeah, with the wall epoxy out of a Ziploc bag. So same way as we do all the other ones, yeah. Any questions on what's in here? Okay, good.
What was the substrate you said?
The substrate?
What was the material?
That's stainless steel.
Okay.
On top of drywall. So, if you want to follow me here, we'll try to be kind of quiet in here because there's people working. This is what happens when you let people that are drinking trowel epoxy on a wall that are in a class, and then you just stop giving a shit and you just let it turn to crap. So that's probably, in my opinion, the ugliest thing a class has ever done to my building right here. What's that? I just couldn't. I was like, finally, like, just keep doing whatever you want to do. I have no love for that. So it was terrible. Yeah, this here is about 9 separate pieces. So all we did was, and I'll wait for everybody to get in here. We might want to actually filter down. So I know. You know why that's in there? Because I haven't put rotting in that table yet. So all I need, I have a pretty long span with no support underneath. So as soon as I put support, it'll be fine. So because I basically installed that in the 18 hours between when I was in Nevada working to where before I flew to the UK, and I helped carry that in there really quick and glue it to the wall, and then I jumped on a plane. So here, so this wall right here, we poured flat on the floor. All we did was lay plastic out on the floor because epoxy doesn't stick to plastic. We just started laying out our sheets of OSB of MDF. This is 1/4 inch MDF, the same exact stuff we use that we do your samples with. And we butted them all up together, brushed between the joints, pushed them together, put buckets on anything that was warpy. It was all pretty flat, so it worked pretty well, but we did lay quite a few buckets around just to make sure all the seams are very vertical. And because it was setting on a completely solid floor, you didn't have any flex or anything like that. So be thoughtful. If you're setting heavy buckets and you have something flexible, like if it was on carpet with plastic on top or something, you can end up forcing some warp. So make sure if you're doing that, that you're doing that bonding process on the seams with epoxy on a really flat surface. Now the next day we came back in and we did use a little bit of Bondo, like body filler, in a few spots, and we had to sand a few spots, but it was actually way more minimal than I thought it was. There was a lot fewer spots that I had to fix than I thought, and I couldn't believe how rigid the piece was with just the joints brushed with epoxy, and I bet you all these pieces together was probably about 1/4 of epoxy to bond all those seams. Yes, sir?
So I have a hard time finding anything over like a 2x4 foot sheet of the 1/4 inch.
Just go to a specialty lumber supplier or Home Depot or Lowe's. Both of them can special order it for you, but you have to order a bunk of it usually. Okay. So sometimes specialty lumber suppliers will order it in and still just sell you off 10 sheets or something like that. This is so valuable to use for backsplashes and everything. So then all we did was put blobs of silicone down the wall, probably about 50 of them, and tipped the whole panel up. So slid it up, tipped it back, slapped it onto the wall. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a reason you use silicone to stick it to the wall instead of like liquid nails?
Yeah, there's a really good reason, because liquid nails gets brittle over time and it doesn't take thermal shock. Has anyone ever tore stuff out and seen bad construction adhesive that's fractured? Especially anybody ever seen shower panels that had any kind of panel set with? Why has it always failed? 5 years in, it's failing every single time. Why? Yeah, it dries and then expansion and contraction due to heat and cold. So you have 120 degrees with water on it, back to 60 degrees as it evaporates, because evaporation creates cooling. So even if your room is 70 degrees, you're going to be about 50 or 60 degrees on that surface while the water's evaporating off of it. Then somebody jumps in and takes another shower, it's constantly moving. Silicone, how hot can silicone get? I don't even fucking know. It's like glass. You ain't burning it off. It's 1,000 degrees, yeah, something way hotter than you'd want to be next to. So, and it's awesome. It just keeps flexing. I hate silicone as a sealant. I never use it. I try to treat it like cancer on my job sites. It can bond something. I don't want it anywhere. I'd never seal in a gap with silicone. Nothing can ever go back over that until you completely cut it back out. So just be thoughtful. This floor here, white marble, flooring epoxy, different viscosity. You're going to work with it tomorrow. We are reformulating our flooring epoxy right now. We had air release in it that was making it look milky, and so we had to have two different. We had to have a deep cast epoxy and then our other thin mill epoxy, and we're making all of our epoxy very clear, and it still has air release in it. It just cost us more to do it, so and we're selling it for the same price. You'll love it when you see it. What's that, sir? Anybody that orders, that's what you'll get. So, say again? Yeah, and then we used our fest tool. You know the wall sanding tool that we were just using in there? I was gone, so I didn't have to help. Thank God. Thank you, Dom, wherever you are. And Dom sanded this whole floor with that tool. I still think that is faster than any other method. I do believe that you could probably sand this whole floor out in 6 or 8 hours if you had the correct grits and it was cured enough. So always remember when you're trying to sand any kind of surface, a floor, a countertop, anything, if it is not fully cured, it's going to be very difficult to sand. If you can apply water and wet sand it, and it keeps cleaning the pad. Otherwise, immediately your pad gums up and starts building up chunks on it, and it doesn't do anything. Vacuuming does keep some of that down because that's built up dust, and if your vacuum system's clean and working very well, it'll usually keep cleaning your pad and help it prolong the life of your sanding discs. It's just frustrating because you're constantly changing pads if you're getting gummed up. So, and then we ran this back up to, I believe, 800 grit. So you can wax this with like a turtle wax, not a flooring wax. Do not use flooring wax. Flooring wax is like shit shellac now. Has anyone ever used it? It's like has polymers in it. And then if you ever have to strip that, has anyone stripped some of the more modern commercial floor waxes? If you ever have a job where they concern themselves with gloss and traction, hire a company or refer them to a company that can do that and upkeep it. If you ever look at all the polished concrete, that's very slick. So they put wax on it, right? Commercial wax is grippy and actually has slip coefficient ratings to it so that you can be legal if you're in a slip coefficient situation. And they can vary it. There's nobody cheaper in town than people that re-wax and buff floors. There is no job I would hate more than just doing that, and that's what they fucking do, and it's cheap. Let pros do that, because if they need to strip it, you don't want to be there. You want to be nowhere near it. So the table over here, I don't know if you guys see that you can see through it. This is done with our casting resin.
Which resin?
Casting. Yeah. So we just put 18 drops in every 4.5 gallon mix because it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So we were running 4.5 gallon mixes, and we put 18 drops of black liquid pigment, same stuff as we use for everything else. So it would be more like a tinted glass. So now our casting resin up till now, we could cast a maximum of up to about 1 inch in a very controlled environment. So we have also changed that. We changed a few chemicals that made people allergic that are allergic to resins, and it's helped us quite a bit. If I can turn my flashlight off here. We are making a resin now, so you're going to have to give it about 2 or 3 days before you pop everything out of the molds, but it's still faster because you can cast deeper than any casting epoxy in the world that I've ever seen, and it's not epoxies are much stronger. The molecule buildup on an epoxy is a lot stronger than acrylic, and you can cast it, we're thinking, up to 3 inches without any casting resin definitely is something that's more of an acquired learning curve, how to get air out of, people cast over wood all the time, and they say, oh, I have bubbles. Well, no shit, dumbass, there's fucking air in wood. So, yeah, and then people will say, oh, I sprayed it with some lacquer. Wipe it down with epoxy like 3 freaking times, and then spray alcohol. So don't foam roll it because it puts more air into it. So people always struggle, and guess how I know that? Because I failed at it. So I put a bunch of air in shit before and then realized, oh, I thought I sealed it well enough. I didn't. So we'll keep the tour going. We don't need to ever go down that hallway again. That's hideous. get a we're just doing smoother. Great. So we're just going to run our floor grinder this here in the spring. As soon as it's warm enough, today we could have done it, but you never know here in Colorado. So in the spring we're going to do a class. We're going to grind this and past all the sidewalks, and we're going to do a brick border around the whole outside. Somebody calls the warranty. Into it. And yeah, we have mixed our metallic into the Traxx Sand. So yeah, like I took a concrete charcoal metallic powder in it, and it was bad.
What if grinding is not an option?
On what?
Tile.
Is it interior?
Yes.
Then I would just do it.
Okay.
Exterior, worried. So that's just faux paint, ladies. We have an amazing faux painter that did this. So that's awesome. That's a joke. That's terrible.
So those Mormons you hired, were they the fundamentalists from just across the border?
No, they were. I don't know who they are, to be honest.
That out there.
Yeah, I guess if I did have Mormons coming to classes, I don't know.
No, I was just saying because you said that, and I was like, dude, weren't you near where all them little camps are with the?
Isn't that Colorado City over in Utah or something?
It's just right across the border, like just down south of Moab is where that.
Really?
Yeah, where they have all the fundamentalists, like the 15 wives.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Because they have another one outside of like Bryce Canyon.
Yeah, they're over on they're on this side. They stay away from Salt Lake. You know, they'll be hunted down. Nobody goes over into Moab and shit. You know, they don't give a shit out there. They're out there in their four-wheel drive.
I did not realize that it was that close. Maybe I'll have to drive just to see them.
Just be like, hey, how many wives you got?
No, I'm sure they got a lot.
that reception table. The new
Yes, sir.
one, is that real wood in there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was dark walnut, I believe. So.
Do you have a supplier? Anybody you work with to get that type of stuff? Those live slabs?
I've bought it off of different people. Every class, people sell me different stuff, and I've bought it from companies and everything. So, I don't know. My biggest thing now, my pet peeve, if it's not kiln dried by a reliable source that has a reputation for having good wood, I wouldn't buy it. Just because I've had pieces of wood just flex on me, and I know they didn't kiln dry it.
Yeah. I mean, anybody close by that does that is reputable. So I've seen like North Carolina, Florida, Texas.
I don't know anybody local. I mean, I've shipped most of my stuff in and around the country too. Okay. So yeah. Because like dark walnut, nobody can access that local. Yeah, a lot of the stuff I want. I've had people be like, I had a guy in the last class, he like had cottonwood or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna put a fucking cottonwood table. Like $6,000 in epoxy for a piece of cottonwood so that you cut down. So yeah, I just buy whatever looks prettiest and that I can afford. So
Gotcha.
How you doing, man? It's good to see you. You gonna stay in for the SuperTraxx portion, or are you just? No, hang out as much as you want, man. All right, you set up another sample just like you did before. We are going to mix a lot less product here, guys. A lot less product. How much SuperTraxx do we have?
I know he has more back there. He put some up here.
Okay.
Go see if he has more back there. How much would you think we need?
Well, is that all we have? Is that
Like
all?
sand?
Yeah.
Get more.
I can grab more.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll need way more than that for the class. I think every person is gonna need at least ounces
Okay.
in a bucket.
I know
So,
this
yeah.
one.
Right on.
And then, so we just need grout line.
Yeah, I'm grout line one. Oh, we can fuck it. Let's let them grout line. Yeah.
And trowels smoothing, or is it rollers to smooth that out?
We'll roll it with a foam roller.
3 inch? Just a much.
Yeah, the little ones. Yeah, that's perfect. And let them all share. Yeah, one per table. Yeah.
Are we mixing our own, or we just grabbing
No, we'll mix one batch and just give you. That'll be for sand only.
sand on
Yeah, because you don't mix near. This is such a small amount of epoxy that'll go down. SuperTraxx is pretty inexpensive for what you get out of it. So.
This is the one that we didn't cover last time. I'm interested in this. It's the one place I think nobody's doing it.
This is a fucking gangster coating. I mean, as far as just durability and salt and gas and drips and brake fluid. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I poured brake fluid on this to prove you could do it, and then I poured it on and stuff just because that'll etch paint off a car. And I thought everybody will love this, and nobody knew that brake fluid. Everybody was like, "Well, why would you put brake fluid on it?" I'm like, "Well, it's so corrosive." Everybody, you've seen it like that of a master cylinder, and you're like, I remember I opened up my hood of my really shitty car, and I was like, "Wow, how do I have like a chrome polished fender on it in the inside?" And it was my brake fluid just etched the paint right off. It was brand new looking, looked newer than the factory.
Nothing smells worse than transmission fluid.
Yeah, burned transmission fluid with all the burned rubber seals.
My homie had a speedometer cable popped out of the back of his Metro. We were driving, and we're like, what's that smell? And it's just leaking, and the speedo wasn't reading right. And he's like, I don't know. We got back, and we're like, it was just all in the carpet.
Oh, wow.
And we had to strip everything out of the car to get the smell out.
That sucks. Say again? You might just,
Awesome, thank you.
hold on one second. Just make sure you guys are all set up. Dom's gonna bring out some grout line tape. You guys are gonna have to be a little bit patient because we don't have fucking 40 sets of scissors and 40 rolls of tape, and we're not gonna throw away 40 rollers. So every table or 2 tables will get a roller. So I would give a 1 roller to each 2 tables. You're gonna use it for 2 seconds per sample. So you're not gonna need a brush. We're gonna mix your product for you. You're not pouring it near as thick. If you poured this like a countertop epoxy, the way this coating works is you pour a thin, even coating. However even it is, you broadcast the sand on top and it absorbs up into it. So if you have roller marks going all over thin and thick spots and you're not really smooth, that's going to immediately transfer right into your top coat. Say you have a pockmark, a chip in your concrete and it's sealed and you float it across the top and now that's a full, you filled that up, it's a little void that's full of epoxy. You broadcast on top, you'll have a big lump there the next day where it absorbs up into it. So just be kind of thoughtful of what's happening and kind of watch that process. So it'd be better to do 2 thin coats and just realize you're going to probably roll pretty thin today. If it's too thin, it doesn't really matter. When you're on a job, you could always roll a second coating. Does that make sense? So it's not really the end of the world. Now be very careful with this sand. Once you spill it on your floor, it becomes very slick to be on a bunch of sand on an epoxy floor, so don't trip. If you do, try to drag yourself to the dumpster and close the lid on it, so when you get in.
If you have uneven floors, what's the way to build up to get it?
I'll make a slurry mix out of this exact product right here with epoxy, and you can mix about 10% epoxy per volume to 90% sand, so it's a very inexpensive way to patch and fill, then diamond grind to get everything smooth. You can do some amazing patch with this, and it's extremely durable. The pool I was just on earlier today during lunchtime where they were doing this, they literally popped off tile around the whole ledge of the pool. The whole ledge of the pool had been tiled and it was popping off, but they'd set the pool down on the shotcrete. So there was about a 3/4 to a 1/2 inch impression where the tile was, and all the tile had failed and pulled off. So they're troweling that right in with a slurry coat of this right here, and it's taken them 2 days because they did one coat, ground a few highs, and now they're doing their second coat around there, and it's amazing. A very durable, way better bond, way better impact resistance, flexibility. And your epoxy we use for this is very flexible, so there you are. So I'm going to start out. Oh, whichever one you, it's fine. Say again? Yeah, no, you can have a lot of freeze thaw cycles on this as long as you get it warm enough prior to mix. So, and now we do have a cold, it's a very high VOC, a cold weather version of this that will still cure. I don't really push it because it's pretty nasty to work with, and I don't know how flexible it is. So, all right, I'm going to show you what to do. Then you guys can kind of share around some grout line tape. Say again? You could have made it around the building. Hey, Dom, do you think you can make it around the building now with the 2 buckets? I was going to pay him when he first came to work for me to try to walk around the building with 2 buckets of sand. He came right back. So. But, Dom, you just keep carrying it, and that's how it starts happening. Yeah, there was some money. You were here. I forgot you were here. That's right.
Because he said like 40 or something like that, and then the student was like, I'll match it.
Yeah.
You tried.
What's that?
Much harder to carry 1 than 2.
Yeah, way harder. He was carrying 2.
No, 1 is harder.
Yeah, 1 is way harder.
I think 1's a lot easier.
Now, if you notice, I have marked grout line tape here. The only reason I'm kind of showing you this, that you're not going to be doing this, is if you're on a job, you can be kind of creative so you're not getting if they're doing any patch while you're trying to tape, you're not getting your tape measure in epoxy and then letting it close and filling it up with epoxy. My guys, yeah, if you have crew, just watch shit like that happens all the time when they don't care. You can run your grout line tape back on itself. This is 4-inch spacing to the actual lines, so you can have a little stupid piece you can give to anybody that's measuring, so you can decide how to make a brick pattern. If you are making your marks, think about this. If you run a piece of grout tape right on concrete, then you broadcast your material, you pull your grout line tape, what are you going to see? Concrete. So think about that. Do you want to do a coating of SuperTraxx first, grout line tape, and then decorative on top? If it's the same color, yes, that's very cheap, quick, and easy to do. If it is not the same color and you're changing colors and you have to broadcast enough on your top coat to completely color block that first coat, I can tell you should charge a significant amount of money because it is like doing 2 full jobs all in the right place in the same place. So a lot of people will say, oh, I'm not going to charge $1 under $8 a square foot, and when I do a second coating for a grout line pattern, I'm $9 a square foot. That's fucking stupid. You should have been $12 or $14 a square foot for that extra coating. You already got your prep done and it's smooth. But it's significant to add another decorative pattern. Now, where I would do it without a lot of charges, maybe borders or something like that. So So just be kind of thoughtful and tactical with how you do this. One other area I've done a lot of grout line tape is on major expansion joints, but I'll only trowel sand into those expansion joints, grind them all flat, grout line tape that. Then when I pull the grout line tape off of that, obviously it was only over my expansion joint, and then you get a really nice seam right there. Then if there was any slab movement in the future, the flexible epoxy should be able to move with it unless it was very excessive. And if you see any angle from like gloss epoxy or urethane going on top, it looks good because you already have a grout line there. So don't give the customer an unrealistic expectation. So I'm going to make a little pattern here. Does anybody have any questions? It's good. The other thing that, this is something I did do because I do lots of dumb shit sometimes. I ran a Sharpie and made all my marks the first time I grout line taped ever. Then I pulled on my grout line tape and guess what I saw? Little Sharpie marks all the way around my whole job. It was a really nice pattern. I don't honestly remember, to be honest. I have no clue. Probably told somebody to fix it, so. My lucky thing was I ended up with guys that were a lot more skilled than me in the long run. It was tough on concrete. And I believe some epoxy seeped under there in places and sealed that right in, because that's always great. Anybody want to place an order? I was going to say, whenever our viewers are low, just make sure we get really valuable content for training that people can watch, and we may be able to post that as SuperTraxx tutorial. So. Yeah, I'll go over the real details. One really cool thing about grout line tape that I do like, Hunter's done this a lot, I'm sure. With tile, who likes to set an 18-inch tile on kind of a wavy, not very good floor? 24-inch tile. I love taping that shit. What do you want it to be? 18.9? Would you like it to be 19? Would you like it to be 23? So you don't have any little slivers by your wall? You can really measure stuff out and have a perfect look in every job when you're grout line taping it, because you make the tile the size it needs to be. And then you tell the customer, man, bigger tile looks really good. So poor people can't afford tile this big. So, and all the Grand Junction girls are like, oh my God, I want it. By the way, if you're from Grand Junction and you're in this class, you're a worker, so you obviously aren't who I'm talking about. So the ladies I'm talking about would never soil their little fingers. I had a lady tell me one time, do you know how much money we have? It'd be really smart if you tried to be my friend. Told her husband she said that. You guys can see, right, what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to make a real dumb, ugly pattern. I also love this when you have to run diagonals. So much better than running tile. Doesn't everybody think it was such a welcome relief when you met me and you thought how bad you'd hate this class because it would just be me, and then you met my staff and how much they made up for it? Isn't that cool? A couple of you probably called home and were like, I can't do this for a whole week. Then you saw how beautiful Dom was and how badass Leah was, and you thought you'd stay. What's that? Oh, pretty boy. Some days it is pretty hard, Dom.
What'd you say? When Levi's done.
Yeah. Because you're a man that knows how to get things done. Cialis. Now, you can actually do this all the way over a front vertical face. You roll your epoxy on, and then you take a flat blade. To do a vertical surface, it's simple, but you may have to do 2 coats. You take a flat blade like this, obviously as large as you can for the area you're working. You can dump sand on top and then just scoop it up onto the wet epoxy, and it will usually leave a perfect coating of sand into that epoxy. Do not take that epoxy and put it back off and use it, because it did just get some epoxy on it, but you can actually vacuum it up and use it again if you just flick it up on top of that step and leave it. If you start messing around with it too much, you're going to end up with kind of a messy, almost like kinetic sand that's never going to work again. So be kind of thoughtful, because generally you're going to broadcast 2 times the amount of sand onto your job site and vacuum. So if you broadcast 10 buckets, you're going to vacuum 5 back off. So you're always broadcasting twice as much as what needs to stay down. As long as you're careful and you don't disrupt it a bunch, you can usually vacuum it right back up, throw it right back in the buckets, and rebroadcast it again. I usually throw it through a screen into the bucket. I've even rigged a vacuum before that had a screen in it, so as it was pulling it off into the vacuum, it was screening all the sticks and stuff out. Then you throw the sticks out and you have really brand new clean sand. So I'll do my best here to do a mix for you guys. This is a 2-to-1 mix ratio product. Mix ratios do matter. This is not the same epoxy with a different mix ratio. I had somebody in a class a while ago that was like, no, I was just doing casting epoxy, so I did a 2-to-1 mix. And I'm like, well, you did it with a countertop epoxy, so that doesn't work. So, huh? No, I'll be good. Does anybody want to grout line some patterns? You don't have to, and you have pretty little board, so it'll probably look dumb. But do you want to try it? Okay, if you want to, come up here and grab whatever grout line tape you want. Somebody can have my scissors. Mr. Bundy. They said he was good looking, didn't they? See? That's how I give compliments. Here's scissors, guys. No, whichever one you guys prefer to use. You need a pencil at all or anything? Oh, you got one? Anybody? What's that? Only if you want to. Don't make a fucking Picasso, or I'll just go eat something. Make some lines. Make a pattern. There's some of that too. Yeah, you want a pencil? Oh, you got one. Anybody need another one? I won't throw scissors at you.
Yes.
Backwards, yeah. Like your shirt. Do you ride?
My husband races.
Oh, right on. What's he ride? Be careful if you tell your customer you'll do a pinwheel pattern or something. You'll be making some big dumb templates trying to make it fast to actually get that done.
So each one of these will do 2 people's boards.
Oh, right on. That's perfect.
This is more than enough too.
We'll see. If we need more, we'll get more out. Don't worry about it. That's
We just
perfect.
don't have any more of the seaside.
Oh, that's fine.
That's what I was thinking, that they get
And
their
and
color.
we don't have more of just the quartz to give them.
What?
Just quartz to give them.
Oh yeah,
We have tons. Do you want to give to them
Do we have?
quart
Hey,
sizes?
do we have the big Dixie cups? You know the big ones we used to have?
Like ones that are like solo cup size?
Yeah.
10 quarts.
No, so like solo cup.
Yeah, like a solo cup.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Dude, that'd be cheap. Just
That can be used for dinner.
Yeah, that's
She actually has like a big thing of actually just
red ones or something.
they're like the clear ones.
But are they that big?
Yeah.
Can you grab them?
Bigger
Yeah.
than the ones that we have.
Just grab them, cause that'd be or 40 of them or something. Cause I'd rather that, cause this ruins these buckets basically, cause you never can clean them well
and they're
enough.
static. Yeah, it's because they're static.
If you want to clean them, you have to spray alcohol real quick to kill the static, and then you can wipe them out. But it just gets tough to reuse these once you throw sand in them.
Right.
A non-static hose comes in, like for vacuum. If you were to vacuum this, like a non-static.
So I think we just use the regular. I didn't even know.
I not know that.
Festival has one. We have one, the green one.
Oh
That's
yeah.
a non-static.
I have a non-static hose. I know some non-static hose.
I think
Doesn't
if you're a
static
hoe,
mean
you can't
stationary?
be
You're not static.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're a hoe. I feel like you have to have some type of stuff.
Yes, you do. All right, as soon as you guys are done, I'm going to start mixing your epoxy. Say again? It will if you mix xylene with your base coat, with your epoxy that you're priming it with. And you can go up to 7% xylene, not acetone, xylene. I just reiterate that because people always just mix other solvents. Just thinking. Can it stick to asphalt? And yes, it will if you mix 7% xylene, and it'll etch it right into asphalt very well. So, yeah, I don't like xylene a lot, but I've totally fixed some jobs with it before. What do you think, Jordan? Did you see a guy from Jordan yesterday on the live? Yeah. Did he know your name was Jordan? Because he says, I need to take advantage of your name, of me being from Jordan. And I was like, how did he know Jordan was running on the camera? Thank you for not being a terrorizer. If you're from Jordan, we'll give you a 10% discount if you don't blow stuff up.
What are you looking for? What is the ratio?
This is a 2-to-1 epoxy. So 2 parts A, 1 part B. Badass, thank you, dude.
Once she got up there was 6 ounces.
Yeah, and we'll just dump that into those. That's perfect, dude. Thank you.
Should we just?
I would just, I personally normally would just scoop it right out of the bucket and throw it in there and scoop it and toss it and give them each. And they don't even have to be fully full, because if they need more, they can come and get more. But I think sometimes they'll just keep dumping until that's. Mm-hmm. Totally agreed.
So should I just give a cup of each color?
Yeah. Get the cups and they can select one color. I don't want 3 times the product thrown all over this room. That'll be a mess to clean up 4 buckets of sand. Yeah, same mixing ratio. Now, and always on everything we sell, we have the mixing instructions right on the container. with letting it exotherm up to 95, you notice that's not on your mixing instructions, right? Because I don't want people that don't come to class and don't have a little bit of knowledge and understanding to try that. So that's how you cook stuff off and have major problems. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to just give you those, would I? I'm sorry. Yep. I just know I'll frickin' drop them or something. That's how I have probably 6 sets of Oakleys that have had epoxy stuck to the lens. So, and you're like, ah.
You like adjust it.
Uh-huh. Or they like hurt your head and you'll be like, what's, and you never clean it off enough.
37.
Say again?
37.
I think we have more.
Let's do
40.
41.
Because there's apparently like 53 people in class. A couple ghosts. How much would we pay Dom if he did make it around this building with 2 buckets of sand? I'll put $50 in. Anyone want to add any of that? What's that? Yeah. What's the last time you've carried a SuperTraxx bucket?
Since we did that SuperTraxx out front.
Some months. He put away all the buckets of sand. He puts everything, all my cheap tools away, stuff that didn't really matter. Left a grinder I didn't own at the time out front. It was like the nicest gas-powered grinder in town. Time limit? 3 minutes? Yeah. Well, fuck, what do you want, an hour? What's that? Oh, fuck no, no breaks. You don't set it down. Let's just do 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You guys think 4 minutes is fair?
No way I'm making
4 minutes? Show me money. I got 50 right now. They have to be full buckets, though. They're 50 pounds a piece. They're 50 pounds each. It's a farmer's walk.
How many meters?
Huh?
How many meters around the building?
Oh, I'm not going to measure in meters. I'm not shooting anything right now. I'm not paying anybody else. I'm not paying a woman that I know can. I'm paying a guy that I'm not sure about. He'll get home and his girl will be like, damn that booty. I worked out. Levi's and he'll be bringing home money.
I'll do it.
Get 2 full buckets and stage them by the door while we're mixing. You guys all have your money?
I'm like, what's this total?
Is it total 25 plus 50, so it's 75? Somebody's got to add this, because
Okay, I'm at.
I bet you can leave it. Hey, Dom, you can leave it by that door. You can leave it by that door.
Okay, we have 50.
2 full unopened buckets. You got 25 more?
Okay.
Who else got $5? 10 bucks? There's 10. Okay.
Plus 10, plus 5.
Leah's adding it up.
Plus 5.
This is going to be... Dude, he'll fucking work for this. This is going to be sick. This will be like me trying to get in the Marine Corps. Like,
5? Okay, we're up to 100. Oh my god.
plus my 50?
Yeah, well, you're 50s.
Okay. Hey, we're up to an even 100. Anything more?
Here's my 5 right there.
Oh, keep it until we see if he pays, but we'll fucking get it from you. Don't make me collect on you. Yeah, you know what? You know what? We do. That's a good. I only trust you. You're too strong. You'll help him. You're too sweet, too. We need a bitch that's not going to help, but will be honest. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be splitting it up.
You're at 120.
Oh my god. I got winded.
Take your. He's out of breath trying to stage it. We're all laughing, and then we'll go to get the buckets, and we'll be like, oh, fuck. I'll bring the truck around. Straight carry, no just setting it down.
No rest.
Who's going to be our observer? Yeah.
For 120 bucks, you got it.
Duct tape your fingers closed. Huh? let's say we don't care if he sets it down because he has a time limit. At 4 minutes, who cares if he sets it? He's got to run faster if he stops. Huh?
Wait, how much were you putting in this?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You have to hold on to it until he does it.
All right, I'm going to let this set. I'm going to let this set for 5 minutes, so get to the door, dumb.
Can I make a video on this?
Yeah, get a video. Can you get around the building with that and reach? We'll try. We'll have the camera follow. I've never done that. I did actually have a bet on two brothers that were really angry at each other, a scooter race right here, and one of them ate shit. And I had a legal disclaimer first that I was not liable for injury.
How bad was the shit he ate?
He ate crap. Time! Oh, you got. It's easy, dude. Go, go, go. Go. Go.
Come on.
Stand straight, keep your neck. You're fine, Dom. You're fine, you got time. Get your head up. Get your head up. Get your head up. Hey, Dom. Do you think she's faster? You just do it while we mix epoxy. Double or nothing? Yeah. You've been. What you doing? I can't let somebody that's a student do that. I can let my own. I can't let other people. Double or nothing. She'd get lost. She's high on. Sorry, that was a little sideshow, but that was amazing. I think that's the hardest he's ever worked, and he made it. So I'm very proud of him. What? Yeah, dude, he made it. No. Winners don't get breaks. Yeah. Yeah.
Back of your truck should be flush with the sidewalk, and if you got a hitch, the hitch should be flush, so that kind of kills it.
Yeah, he had to walk around a few hitches.
Yeah, that's where I almost tripped the last one. Well, I did trip.
Wasn't my truck. You notice I stopped. Has everybody paid up? Everybody paid you? Better count that money. Dom's got fat stacks of cash. He's going to get rolled by the cop this afternoon. Why you got this cash on you? Looks like a lot of odd denominations of bills. Tim not selling crack. Sorry.
Don't ask me where we got this from.
Yeah, okay. Right out of the strip club. Yeah.
What is Dom, a starving artist or something?
He's just a badass young guy that's bought his first place. Yeah, I'm waiting for everybody to come in. I'll finish this. We'll get to it.
It was my $10. I was just kidding.
Right. Are we all ready again? Since I have hot epoxy. It's not hot, but it's going. So I'm just going to use a 6-inch roller. You guys can pass this around. I'm going to come to each table. We'll have 3 or 4 of these out. We'll have 3 or 4 of these out for you guys to share around. Just because you have product on your board doesn't mean you want to leave it there. We want a nice thin coating, and we want an even coating, right? Because a high spot will be a high spot in our final coat, right? Now, one thing you're going to learn here real quickly, on thin coats with a roller, you have to slow down if you want the product to actually pull. It doesn't matter how fast and how much pressure you push it like this. If you really want to move product, slower is faster. So. If you have excess, don't worry about it. Just pour it right off the side onto your table. Yeah, any kind of sidewalk or anything. This would be after prep, once you feel like you've pretty much profiled your slab and whatever you're going over. I pour a gray epoxy a lot of times. I'll run a gray into this just because I want to block all color, and I'll go over that. There's a lot of little details I want to do after we cover this, and that's a very important question. So ask me again if I don't answer that. Say again? Oh, shit. I mean, depends on the environment and the use, but it should be longer than any concrete slab ever could, so. Yeah. Better. You can go over totally failed, fractured, destroyed slabs, and they'll hold up perfect. I even did my sister's house. That was the worst slab I've ever seen, and we filled in areas. It was just falling apart, crumbling, fractures everywhere, and I saw it winter twice now, and it's amazing. You pressure wash it, absolutely looks perfect. So put a little, just like that big of a spot on everybody's board. So can you carry that?
Barely.
I got $40 that he can carry this to the back of the room. Now I'll kind of show you where I'm going to go from here, guys. So you guys will pick a color and take 1 cup. 2 girls could share a cup if you wanted to. If you guys have like colors you want to. Why do people laugh when I just say serious stuff? That was terrible, man. Iraq didn't give me PTSD. My dumb friend sending me that gave me PTSD. I was like, oh, I see where you're going with that. Oh, fuck, I did not see where you were going with that video. I did not anticipate that. So, where's my trowel? Right there. Yeah. Now, if you notice, I'm broadcasting until you don't see any more wet spots. If you see it wet and shining through, that's too much. Now, you can use, if you want to really block a sheet off, you can use shields, flashing, whatever you want to guarantee you don't have excess of the wrong color on the wrong side of your tape. If you're wanting to do a multicolor pattern, I guess I'm going to do 2 there, huh? We'll just go right over here and pretend I meant to. Do you see what I mean? Now, I want to tell you guys something that'll cost you a lot of money if you don't think about this. A lot of people love to do little multicolor patterns here. What's your downside to doing that? Can somebody think of a downside? Time's good, but yeah, I mean, sure, that sucks. But tell me something else cost-wise on the next job. You're mixing all the colors. You vacuum up a single color. You vacuum them up unevenly, and then you're fucking mixing this bucket to that bucket to that bucket, trying to get this one's more tan than that one, and this has more green in it, and you end up with a bunch of very tough to ever sell again sand, and you have so much of it, you don't really want to throw it away, but you got tons of sand. A lot of my profit when I ran these jobs came from literally, I would have so much left over from different jobs that I could do whole entire jobs where it wasn't costing me a penny for any product. So you did a driveway, you got enough vacuum back off the top and everything, and you have enough accent from different jobs that you pulled. You could do brick borders, you could do all kinds of stuff, and at least your product is free, so your labor is all you're really doing and putting into the job. So be kind of thoughtful. Go to your tables, pour. If anybody wants my roller. Yeah, just get 1 cup, one of the single cups here. Yeah, no, 1 cup will go. You can, yeah, one cup per 1 person. I'm usually going to just broadcast as even as I can. Let your epoxy settle for at least a minute or 2 before you start broadcasting, just so any little high creases disappear. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you'll have like a ridge in your epoxy.
Larger cups or smaller cups?
The bigger ones here. Sorry, I apologize. I'll fill one up for you. What?
How much sand do we need in our...
Just 1 cup. You can pick that up and dump it into it if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. You got a cup? You got a cup?
Where's the pink?
How much do we need? More than that?
Oh, shit, I wish we did have pink. For your daughter? Yeah, grab the pink mica.
Yeah? Oh, is there half a cup?
If you say for your daughter, I'll do it. I have 2 little girls, and half of what I do in life is for them, and the other half's for my little boy. Yeah, try it. You know what?
Experiment.
You know what? Dump some in here and dump some in the light to see which one's better.
This is really gonna be I'm just so amazed.
I threw charcoal in this concrete gray, and it was amazing. Then I thought later I should have just mixed it in my urethane. So
Do we need to fill up a cup completely?
that I won't even touch this now.
How full?
Yeah, that's full. That's plenty. 2/3 full is good. Remember, guys, once you put it down, do not touch that board once you're sprinkling sand. If you try to smooth something out to get the sand there, you're going to see like a rubbed fingerprint pattern the next day, no matter how careful you are. So
you changed your mind about the different...
I was just showing you guys how to block, and then I explained why you would or wouldn't, and then I just finished it. So.
Will you mix a little bit more? Tom said that they don't have enough.
Oh, you guys need more epoxy? Yeah.
So you were gonna say that about the temperature. We need it to weigh like 95, you said?
Oh, no, not on this ever. I was explaining that there's a lot of processes that I only teach in class, and that happened to be one of them. This, I would never do that because you'd lose all your working time.
Okay.
This, pour it, mix it and pour it, yeah. Because you need working time with this.
And before that, you just clean everything, like the other jobs, like clean your surface, you grind if you need to.
Yeah, grind any high spots. this once you do one job, it's gonna make a lot more sense, and it probably won't look pretty. You're gonna regrind high spots, and then you're gonna do your next one, and it'll be a lot simpler. So, there's a bit of learning curve here with this, and it just practice where you'll feel better about doing it. So, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Did you get the color you needed?
I'm gonna mix it up now with stir stick.
Okay. I've done a ton. I did a lot of square footage of this. So.
This seems like a real good, like.
Oh, it's bulletproof. Yeah, just for a minute or two, just so it settles real nice.
Yeah, there's just a couple people that I miss over here.
Oh yeah, this will be fine. You happy?
Oh yeah.
Good accomplishment, Dom. I'm proud of you.
Last
You
time
know
I-
what? I'm just glad you didn't quit.
Me too.
I don't care about failures. I hate quitters. Losers aren't losers. Quitters are losers.
Like 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
I was like, if I knew if I put it down like intentionally, I would.
Yeah.
No, you would.
It would have been harder for me.
You'd always do it. Whatever it takes to win, man. No matter what it takes to win.
I thought I fucked it up when I tripped. I was
No.
like, oops.
The whole sand just goes everywhere. That's life. You picked it up and you kept going.
I like that.
I'm just gonna try and do that every day now. Maybe my next time I'll be caring for.
When I did this every day, I would load sometimes 50, 60 buckets off the trailer, put them out on the job, broadcast them, vacuum them, put them back in the buckets. You'd screen every bucket like 6 times, then throw them all back in the trailer, take them back to the shop, and then people would be like, "Why are you so tired?" I'm like, "Motherfucker." I did the math one time, and it was like, I loaded like 180,000 pounds that day, just a bucket at a time. Like the times we had to move it.
Levi.
Yes, sir.
Can I do a little bit of one color and then a little bit of another?
Oh yeah, I mean, but they'll probably kind of mix. But yeah, try it. That'd be really cool to see. I'd like that might be a really natural. Might be a really natural mix how you do it. Do we have a large sweatshirt for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, get him a large sweatshirt. That kid's such a cool kid, and he like loves us. He has so much fun. He's helping. He's working. He's involved. What's his name?
Yeah, it's Andrew.
Thank you. I don't know why I like people like that more than people. I also think like God probably loves them the most. You know? Anybody that needs some more epoxy? I'm almost done mixing, guys. Sorry about that. Now, remember, guys, if you feel like you have too much on there, push all the excess off. You don't want it, or it'll be a wavy, uneven surface. Just roll it right off the epoxy. Yeah, the excess epoxy.
Is there such thing as too much sand?
No, because the thicker it is, it just soaks up as much as it will, and the rest won't matter. Whoops! I thought that was way heavier, and I thought I was gonna barely get it to move. So I was trying to make them not. I didn't want a tripping hazard. Yeah, just wait a few minutes. Yeah, just wait a couple minutes, guys, after you roll. Where's Dominic? Oh, there you are. Here. Hey, there, that epoxy's mixed. Anybody that needs epoxy, raise your hand. Thanks for all your help, dude. You've been working just as much as anybody here. So there's a sweatshirt. We don't have a lot. Just a sweatshirt for you.
Yeah, never mind. I don't want it.
He's doing it for his daughter.
How old's your daughter? How tall is she? like 6 feet tall. Do we have a small sweatshirt, Dom?
Yeah. Like one of these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you a small sweatshirt like Leah's if you think she'd fit in that. Do you think she'd fit? You think she'd fit in that sweatshirt?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you okay with her wearing something that says be dangerous? Okay.
She's married. I mean, she's.
I was like, married? What the fuck? I was just talking shit about Mormons and he just said he's a Mormon.
Jesus.
Will she wear that? Is that okay? Okay. Kids, at my kids' school, all the kids always love my sweatshirt. So this morning I was in the gym and I was like, holy cow, it looks like a Diamond Coat office in here. All these green camo sweatshirts all the kids are running around in. It's coming. Hey, Dom, you got more people that need epoxy, just so you know. If you need epoxy, raise your hand. Actually, and you, I think your roller, you have more than you want down there. Probably, yeah, at least enough. Remember, guys, this is not a countertop. It needs to be much thinner. All my problems, all my failures on this, and I've did a lot of SuperTraxx, was because it was too thick. It was never because it was too thin. So, too thin, you just roll it again. What's that?
Give to a try.
Yeah, I know. We took the bottle opener off, so it does come.
And a bottle opener on it.
But we removed the bottle opener for you, so she doesn't feel like she should drink at a young age. She might drink. I'm on a microphone, I would say. I grew up in. I'm totally Irish, and I grew up in North Idaho, so you can imagine. My mom didn't always bring options to the beach for children. Yes. What's that? Yeah, I sell everything. I mean.
Am I putting this on?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay.
Say again? Yeah. You have to put them in the truck right after they're done. I'm like, good luck with your SuperTraxx. Your first SuperTraxx carpet in your truck.
So once you pour the sand, we're done?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you pour your sand, you're done. You can look around the room, get other ideas. And then, if you want to, time to go. So sad.
Oh, darn.
I still have a lot of work to do today. I was up at 5:30 working.
Did anyone comment about Matt or Dom running around?
We just were laughing faces.
Oh.
That's about it.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Right now, they're just finishing up some SuperTraxx samples that we are working on right now. Let's see the glitter.
Just as expected.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do I need to put more?
No, that's enough. He said that's gonna make him quit smoking. Yeah, he's like, I need to quit. My lungs are hurting. Right? Gives you some motivation there.
Is that from a straw by chance?
A straw?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm like, yep, because it's so thin.
Okay.
It's not really, nothing's going over the top of those lines because we're pushing it so thin. Ooh, I like that color.
Yes. So pretty.
I want a driveway like that.
Pink?
Yeah.
What girl doesn't?
Me.
Well, unless, you know, you like the same.
I mean, you could also do like a black with a silver sparkle.
That would be really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
When you guys, for example, if I was going to, do you guys have a way to estimate what shipping would be? Like your program will do that?
Yeah.
So we could look it up tomorrow. What would it cost if I just had to have it shipped?
Yeah, we could add everything to your order and create a draft order just to see how much that shipping
Yeah, I've
cost
got
would
a
be.
draft order going. And obviously the base color and the diamond shit, so I
Yeah.
could just take with me. So it would just be, so I was just out of curiosity, I'm afraid to find out.
Yeah, no, we can definitely tell you around where it would be.
So, you guys normally carry product here?
Oh.
So if I come back for another class.
Oh, it'll be here. Right now, it's just because of weather.
Okay.
That's the only reason why we don't have it at the moment. Usually this whole area over here, we keep tons of stock in.
Okay.
So right now, it's just because of weather delays.
I'm so close that if I'm going to have a big order, I might as well drive here to pick it
Yep,
up.
exactly. Rather than pay for shipping and all that stuff. Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
Usually we have it all here.
Okay, cool.
Are we gonna finish tomorrow with whatever we're doing?
Probably not, because we're not going to be pouring. Our flooring is a completely different process, different product. So tomorrow we will just be sanding your pieces.
Can I take these little bits home?
Yeah.
To finish.
Yeah.
My son made necklaces for all his little girlfriends at school. But we need like it was like a YouTube video. We shaved crayons and
Yeah.
put them in it and then melted them.
Yeah.
But we need like something to seal them. So.
Definitely. Yeah, if you have extra, just go ahead and put it up there.
If you don't use them, or if you put them all together and use them.
With this amount, like it being so small, we would just be throwing these away.
Okay, yeah, so throw it away, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, you're
Cool,
fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Extra sand, so...
Once you have that custom, you can't really use it again, so...
Yeah, you don't want me to dump it back.
No.
So just...
Yep, if you want to take it, you can too.
No, I don't want to take it, but you want it... I mean, you were talking about doing something pretty with it. No. Okay.
I get to do this every day, all day, so... When should I? Because I'm doing it right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so just let me know when you want me to. Yeah, sure. Just whenever.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching today and being a part of our third day in our intro and advanced class. We will see you tomorrow. We'll be doing some flooring and kind of finishing up some of our samples here. So I hope you guys have a